Hi, this is Laura Turner, and today we're going to talk about how to cite quotations. Citing quotations is going to be different depending on your professor and how your professor wants it done. But generally, quotations that are cited within a line are going to be called inline citations. And they're going to be cited by quoting and then, of course, adding the author's last name and the page number of the book within the punctuation of the line. So like in my example here, John Stowe states that Puritan was the name that several congregations of Anabaptists in London gave themselves in the 1560s. So everything from the quotes in the highlighted area here is your quotation, and earliest recorded uses of the word are all derogatory. And then you have Smith 320. So Smith said all this stuff right here. Next, sometimes you'll have footnotes at the end of your page. So you will not actually have, well, actually you will. If you have a footnote that says, refer to number 1 and down at the bottom, but usually you're going to have an inline citation for stuff like that. The thing to avoid when citing quotes is leaving out parts of the quotes and forgetting to use quotation marks. If you paraphrase something that someone said, you should probably still cite out to the side the page number and the area from which you got this idea. And finally, when you're using part of a sentence from a book, or you're using, like in this example here, I use parts of speeches from one of Shakespeare's plays. I use an ellipsis, or 3 dots, in between the lines that I did not use. So for example, have you no wit, manners, nor honesty? Then I have an ellipsis because I skipped a few lines, and then we go on to the next line. Okay, and you can do that in quotes from books as well. You can sort of take a quote from the same page, or from a little further down on the next page, and all you have to do is add an ellipsis in, so you can keep it all together as one big quote. Okay, and of course, whenever you're citing Shakespeare, you should use, as I have in this example, the act number, the scene number, and the lines of citation. This is something that your Shakespeare professor will probably tell you how they want it to be done. Some of them like Roman numerals, some of them are okay with regular numbers. But this is, of course, the Act 2, Scene 3, lines 74 through 77 in this citation. Okay, so those are just some ways to cite quotations.